Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're going to continue on with our Bootstrap Basics theme here. We just pretty much completed this little About Us page. So let's move on to our next page, which will be our pricing. So if you've been following along, we created this site from scratch. Here's our root folder, or our folder with all our website files in it. Here's our about page we're looking at, about.html. And here's our home page. Here's our custom style sheet that we use for dictating what our site's going to look like. And here's our folder with some images in it. So we're going to create the pricing page. What we're going to do to save a bit of time is we're going to copy the about page, Control C, Control V to paste. I'm going to rename it Price. Now my computer is set not to show known file types, which HTML is a known file type. If yours shows known file types, make sure it's got .html on the end, or do not change it, just change the name itself. Okay, so here's our new page. I'm going to open it with my text editor, brackets. If you don't have a text editor, brackets is absolutely free. It's got some great features. You can download it from a link below this video, but any text editor will do. Okay, so let's change the title of this page to pricing. And every time we add a new page, of course, we've got to make sure it's added to the menu. So pricing, called it price, and it was .html, and that will grab this page. And now we're on the actual page. Our active class wants to be on the page we're on, which is pricing. So we'll cut that from there. Control X, and we'll put it on our pricing page. Control V. And of course what we need to remember is we'll grab the page name. We want to put it in the menus for our other pages, about and index also. So I'm going to copy that price.html. Control C. Going to go to our about page, up to the menu. There it is, and put it in there where the hashtag is. Control S to save. Let's go to our index.html, which is the home page, and do the same thing. Pricing, there we are. Just replace the hashtag. Save. That's great. Our menu is all set up there. Let's go back to our price page. And if we actually look at the page, let's save that, Control S, and get the page up. It's going to be a clone of our about page. So if I just double click this, as you can see, the line, because we put that active class in, the line is under the pricing. And our link should work. About page, home page, back to pricing page. Fantastic. So we want to change the title up here to pricing, and something here. I think we'll recycle this little section right here. What we'll do, we'll just put a different title in and change the verbiage a little bit. And let's put a simple image slider here, or simple image carousel right here. So let's do that. Here we are, back on the pricing page. If we move down, here's the page title. Exactly the same as what we did for the about page. And here's the breadcrumbs. Home we leave as it is. About we change to pricing. Let's say our pricing pledge or something. Okay, and let's just change this text up a little bit here. I know it's nonsense text, but we'll make it look slightly different from the other page. Let's put a line break in, or a couple of line breaks. In fact, I'm going to do double line breaks. I'll show you why. I'll put single in there for the moment. Let's put another one in right here. Line breaks just BR. And what you could do, you could encase it in its own paragraph tags, which would separate it also. But if you put a break in, it'll drop it down a line. I might even put double breaks in so it drops it down 2 lines. So let's take a look at what we've got there. Let's save. Control S. There we go. Pricing, our pricing, pledge, home, pricing. And you can see where the line is broken up there. It's actually there and there. Let's put a gap between each of those by adding a double break. Back to our brackets. So what we're going to do is copy that, Control C. Might change this, might decide it doesn't work. Put double breaks there. Control S, save. There we go. Now you've got a gap between each of those there. I'm not sure that's in the right place. We might want to put that a little higher. Like I say, not that it makes any sense at all. Control X to cut. Let's put it right there. Obviously you'd have some text to put in. There we are. There's more like paragraphs right there. Okay, let's get rid of that image and put our carousel in there. So here's our image. I'm actually going to leave that image because I might decide I want to use that as part of our carousel. So let's start with a div. I'm going to give it the class. And it's going to be carousel. And we'll start off with carousel slide, so it's sliding. And then after that, we need to type data ride. And that's going to equal carousel. And you can put this all with HTML. You don't have to add JavaScript or anything. This should work straight out of the box once we add our images. Okay, and let's separate that div. And in between there, we want to put the inner part of the carousel. So we're going to have a div with a class of carousel inner. Now we want to go to our active item, which will be the next thing. Just close out that div. And in between these two divs, let's put another one in there. And here we're going to have our actual items, which is going to be our carousel items. So we've got a div with a class equals carousel item. Now the first one I'll give the active class to. In fact, I won't do it because I'm going to copy these over. So I'll do that last thing. I'm going to drop that down. Then in between is where we want to put whatever it is we want. So let's have a look at our folder. I'm going to steal this image that we had right here. Control X, and I'm going to put it inside there and just change the image name in a minute. Well, I guess let's start from scratch. Let's have a look at our folder. So here's our folder. Here's our images. Which one should we use? I guess we'll use a few of these. Let's use G1 through G5, I guess. And they're in the images folder in our basics folder, which is our root folder. Root folder means just where all the files are located, where it all starts. So we're going to use image G1 through G5. So let's go and insert the image. So it's going to be img, and it's going to be source equals, and it was in our image folder, wasn't it? So it's found it for us, img, or you could just type that in, and inside there it was G1 through G5 we want to use. Now we want to give it a class, because it is a slide. And what I'm going to do, you can use width 100, display block, but I'm going to just use image fluid so it automatically stretches to the correct size for the carousel. So it's going to be img fluid, which will make it a responsive image. And we'll give it an alt as it's an image. So the alt is usually a description of the image itself. Like I said before, a lot of people use it for SEO purposes, and we'll put a keyword in there. I've just noticed an error in my code here. Okay, so that's the image taken care of. It's an image. That's the folder the image is in. That's the actual image itself. If you hover over it, it'll show you a preview. Class is image fluid, which will make it responsive. And the alt tag is purely a description. Now, if we look up here, I've got carousel in red. Usually when you see red, you've got an error there. And the reason I've got an error is because I've got data ride, and that should be an equals instead of a plus there. There we go. As you can see, it's turned orange now, which is fine. Okay, so we've got our first image in there. And all I'm going to do is I want several images in there. So I'm going to copy this however many times for however many images I want. Now, if you click on an opening bracket or div with brackets, it'll show you the closing div so you can see exactly what you need to copy. So we'll select all of that. We'll drop down, and there's 2, 3, 4, 5. That's plenty for me. Now all we need to do is change the image name in each of these. So we've got a different image in each one. So G1, let's change this one to G2, because it was G1 through 5, wasn't it? Okay, and the only other thing I want is on our first slide here, I want to make that active. So I'm going to give it the class of active. We're pretty much finished with our carousel here. So let's save that. Let's just close out that little gap at the bottom there. Control S to save. Let's go back to the site and refresh. I guess I should use a different one. As you can see, we've got a sliding carousel now on the right hand side, which is kind of what we want. But I did notice that first slide, if we look at our about page, that's the picture from there. If we go back to our pricing now, it's the same image. So I think I want to change that first image out. So let's do that quickly. I'll just put G6 in instead of G1. Back to our brackets. Here's our first slide. I'm going to change that to G6. Not that I know what that is, but let's have a look when it's put it in there. Okay, at least it's a different picture that way than the about page. Oh, did I not save? Okay, I didn't save. If you notice with brackets, there's a little dot by the price.html there. When you see that little dot, it means you did not save. Something has changed and you haven't saved. So Control S to save, and you see that little dot disappear. Let's go back and refresh now, and it should have that. There we are. It's got the different image first. Okay, that's sliding at a rate of left to right. I should say direction of left to right. What if we wanted to fade? Same as our slider on the front page. Just go in there and give it the class of carousel fade. After the carousel slide, you need to keep that, but you need to put carousel dash fade. Save that. Let's go back to the site. Now when I refresh, rather than going from right to left, which is what they're doing now, if I just wait, there we go, right to left. When I refresh, they should just fade in. There we go, and they just fade. So it's up to you. Very easy to change how it works there. And you can put a data interval, the timing on each of the images if you want to change that. Have a look at our initial slider video if you want to do that. So there you have it. I'm going to leave it there today. There's our little pricing pledge paragraph. We've recycled this. We'll do this on most pages for the title. And we've added a simple image carousel there, demonstrating some of our products perhaps. Next, what we'll do is I'll wipe out this team section. We don't need it on this page, and we're going to change this to some pricing tables, 3 nice big custom built pricing tables. So there you have it. There's how to add your simple image carousel to your site. I hope you found that useful and enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great web development courses down there. We've also got some premium courses down there with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers, so do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.